All right, let's get to it. 21 teams. 21 of them started OTAs yesterday, 8 more today. These are the 10, up to 10. What will happen is near the end, they'll either go bowling one of the days or give them the day off, let them leave early. But it's up to 10 practices, that are done separate from the mandatory minicamp. And some teams have started canceling the mandatory minicamp too. They get their work in. They're very sensitive to this balance. Let's not do too much, but let's get enough so we're ready to go. So they're back, and the guys that make news are the guys who are there that we thought might not be there, like Tua yesterday. Tua showed up in Miami, but then the guys who didn't show up, and one of the biggest names in the NFL, guy who's still waiting for a contract, and guys like Kevin O'Connell, the coach of the Vikings, will say all the right things, but words and actions, two different things. O'Connell recently saying he's confident the deal is going to get done. Well, the deal for Justin Jefferson isn't done. He's entering his fifth-year option due to make $19.74 million. He doesn't have his deal. He's not showing up, nor should he show up. And I've been banging this drum for months now. Before the draft, I said, if you're not going to pay the guy, trade him to someone who will. After the draft, when you didn't trade him, just pay the guy. It's never going to get cheaper. It's never going to get cheaper than it is right now. It's only going to get more expensive. The contracts we've seen receivers sign in recent weeks, from Devontae Smith to Amon-Ra St. Brown to A.J. Brown, when the Eagles realized, hey, we just paid one of our guys, we better take care of the other guy. If you get ahead of it, you get a better deal. If you wait, you're going to have to pay more. And whatever the Vikings could have, would have, should have paid Justin Jefferson last September, the price has gone up dramatically since then. Salary cap's up 15.6%. The market's gone up. They're screwed. And the longer they wait, the more they're screwed. And they've already written the check, figuratively. They've already said he should be paid like a top non-quarterback. That's $34 million a year. And it's probably going to be more than that. Get it done. It's only going to get more expensive. And here's the problem with not getting it done. Now you don't have Justin Jefferson there as you're trying to get your rookie quarterback ready.
Yeah, that's the big thing. You'd want him there for
that. You're undermining your ability to get ready for the season because he's not there getting ready with the new quarterback that you're trying to get the most out of right away. Write the damn check and get the guy in there.
Damn, are you a Vikings fan or something? You seem like you're getting a little emotional.
No,
calm down a little.
I think it's stupid.
No.
I think it's stupid for any team. Well, we're going to talk about another team coming up that's in the same boat. It's stupid. Or trade him. Or say you're not going to sign him at all. But this crap of, we're going to sign him. Well, you better sign him because you're hurting yourself strategically and you're costing yourself more money by waiting.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, it's not easy. I mean, we're not shocked, right? It's not surprising that he's not there. I mean, he shouldn't be there for what he is and what he's asking for and the value to the team. It's the right thing to do. You make up, that's the first thing I think about. It just thinks he's not there with J.J. McCarthy to kind of start that bond and get a little rhythm together and, start to create some chemistry to where there's special combination going forward. That stinks, but they can make up time for that. I haven't heard, I'm not going to sit in here and tell you I know, inside things or whatever. I heard enough, a month, 2 months back when we were talking about it a little bit more before the draft and all that. As far as recent news, I don't know. But what I do know is the Vikings want Justin Jefferson. They're not looking to trade him. I know that. They have fielded tons of calls because the contract's not done of teams going, wait, you didn't get it done. Do you want to trade him? Blah, blah, blah. So they've been dealing with those type of phone calls. They want Justin Jefferson. The problem here is, Mike, and I mean what we talk about all the time, right, they've kind of put themselves in the corner, to your point, where he deserves the best non-quarterback money, which is Nick Bosa, $34 million or plus, right? The other receivers in the market, right, have gone up, which is going to press the price tag up. And I think the biggest thing, too, here, and even goes back into last year, contracts like this take a lot of time, especially, and we saw this with Bosa, too, when it's a contract that's about to blow the rest of the market out of the water. Now, that, to me, is the big thing. And I think even like last year, he was looking to blow the market out of the water to maybe in a bigger extent it might be now this year, since some of the other guys have come up a little bit in average year per salary. And yeah, for whatever reason, there's some penny pinching and whatever else over an extra few $1 million here and there, and yeah, it's going to compromise their team for the current moment right now, and hopefully they can get it done sooner rather than later.
I believe there's frustration from the Jefferson camp.
Yeah.
The Vikings have been playing games
Right.
with Jefferson, and it's very simple. If you want him, act accordingly. If you're going to say he deserved to be paid like a top 9 quarterback in the NFL, then pay him. Pay him like a top 9 quarterback in the NFL. You can't have it both ways.
So let me ask you this,
You can't
though.
try to placate
Right.
Hang on.
Yeah.
You can't try to placate everyone and say it's all going to be fine, we're going to take care of him, and then do nothing to take care of him and only put yourself in a tougher position because it keeps getting more expensive.
Yeah.
It's ludicrous.
No, I mean,
if you're
listen,
going to do it, do it.
I don't disagree, and you're right. It seemed like the time to do it was probably early on in this offseason, and now it probably did get a little bit more expensive or whatever else. But let me just ask you this, and I don't know this, but where's that line of demarcation to where, okay, maybe you'll feel for the team? Let's say, I megoing at $34 million, right? I mean, if you found out today that Justin Jefferson's asking for $41 million, would you be like, well, that's a little high. We're going to blow everybody out of football out of the market like that? I mean, where's that sweet spot? And I feel like that's what I was led to believe was being argued before the draft. And then we still haven't found that sweet spot. And to your point, I think it's probably moved a little bit, and that's probably changed things as well.
Then don't be saying you're confident the deal is going to be done. Don't say that, Kevin. Don't say that, Kwesi. Don't say that, anyone from the Vikings. Don't give your fans false hope that you're going to get a deal done if the guy's asking for too much. If he's asking for too much, don't say anything. Or say, we're not sure a deal's going to get done. Now, you don't want to trash the guy publicly, but you can't have it both ways. You can't say this is fine, this is fine, this is fine while the room is burning around you. That is a bad move. That is dysfunction. If you're saying we're going to get this done, but man, this guy's really going to have to change his expectations or we're not going to get this done. And then what's going to happen this year? Here's what's going to happen. He doesn't show up until training camp, if then. He gets a little bit of an injury. Why does he play with the injury? I wouldn't play with the injury. I wouldn't have come back last year. He could have come back last year, maybe. I don't know. If he would have had his long-term security, why wouldn't you come back after you have your hamstring injury and risk injuring it again when you have your security? If you don't have your security, I ain't coming back until I know I'm 100%, and I got no problem with that. I'm not saying he's embellishing. All I'm saying is, why am I going to put myself at any risk of any kind if I don't have my security? You give me my security, and I'll go out there if I'm not 100%, and I'm at risk of being a lot lower than the percent that I'm at now. These are all things that factor into this stew for the Vikings, and it's, they got their quarterback, and they hope that he's the guy. Now you got to make sure he's got the help around him, especially in these 3 seasons where you're paying the quarterback not Kirk Cousins money. This is the key. This is the year to use a lot of cap space if you can muster it. Now, $28 million of it goes to Cousins. That's one of the realities of having a franchise quarterback. That first year after he's gone, you have a reckoning, but it's not $50 million, it's $28 million. They could make this happen because Jordan Addison is still on his rookie deal.
Right.
And J.J. McCarthy is going to be on a rookie deal for 3 years. So I don't like the mixed signals. I don't like the lack of cohesion in messaging from the team. The left hand and the right hand need to be together. And don't tell me you're getting the deal done, but, we think this guy wants too much money. But then you're not getting the deal done if he wants too much money.
We don't know that. That's just us talking. We don't know. But they're on the same page. They seem to be positive and confident in the fact that something will get done, right? But yeah, there's still work to be done. And maybe how they orchestrate the contract, how much guaranteed money they give them. I don't know where it's the rubber meets the road. I don't. I
think he wants 3 years fully guaranteed, and I think that's part of the problem.
That's the big problem,
the first
right?
3 years fully guaranteed.
They want to give what, only 2, right? And just kind of leave it at that. But this is one, and this type of player, not only the groundbreaking contract and all of that, but like we've talked about with T.J. Watt in the past with the Steelers and all of that, there's just a player every now and then where you just go, hey, screw our rules. Our rules, the hell with them. This guy, he circumvents the rules. The other guys in the locker room understand. They'll all get it. They're all going to be like, we're not Justin Jefferson. So, but yeah, they got to figure that out. And as you know, too, right? I mean, it's early in this process. We'd all like it to be done now. Of course, for the football reasons, you want him to be there and get going with J.J. McCarthy, you said.
Is it early, though?
But,
is it early in the process?
For this type of stuff, yeah, this type of player, I feel like it's usually training camp. It gets figured out at some point, honestly, the end of training camp, more times than not. And I don't know if that'll be a hold-in type of thing, how it works out,
right.
But yeah, I don't think it's desperation time to the point you always make, and that seems to be when deals start to come together a little bit better.
I think last year was the year to get it done before week 1. This is the year to get it done before Justin Jefferson ever sets foot on the field. Last year, Jefferson was ready to do it, and we reported at one point that the ball was in the Vikings' court, and I think it came down to the guarantees. And then earlier this year, they started to put out this idea of he turned down $30 million. Hey, do you know? Hey, the offer he turned down. Wow. That is kind of a subtle way to say this guy wants too much money. Well, whatever he turned down last year, whatever it was, whatever he wanted last year that you turned down, it's going to be more this year.
Yeah.
Salary cap's gone
yeah.
up. Market's gone up.
Right.
Expectations have gone up. It's going to be more this year. He's a more important player relative to the team now that Kirk Cousins is gone. It's going to go up. And I don't know what the thought process is, because you've got this hierarchy in the organization where you got the coach, the GM. They've got a COO who's kind of the guy who runs the place. That it used to be Kevin Warren, and the new guy has such a low profile. I don't even know who it is without looking it up. But the Wilfs don't live there. This is one of those, it would be better if owners were there, not there with, constantly meddling, but there and around, and you can preside over some of these big issues and maybe get things done and grease the skids and expedite. This is just one of those where I don't know who's calling the shots, but I feel like there's a disconnect somewhere on the Vikings side, because they want to get it done, but they're not doing what they need to do to get it done. And there's frustration, I believe, from Jefferson's camp that the Vikings are playing some sort of a game. And maybe they are playing a game, or maybe they just can't get on the same page on their side of this.
Yeah, I mean, those are the little details I don't know. And, I'd always been led to believe that it was close, right? There was, it wasn't a huge gap. But, since the A.J. Brown contract and the Amon-Ra St. Brown contract and all that, I don't know. I haven't heard anything more there to let you know that I got breaking news here or anything like that. But the one thing I do know, speaking to players, superstar players, anything like that throughout the years, right? Players like Justin Jefferson, again, not only do they want to feel like they're appreciated and paid for being the best at their position or one of the top 2 or 3, right? I don't think anybody would disagree. It's, it's A.J. Brown, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, and this guy right here, Justin Jefferson, that will lead the list, right? But within that, and I know this because I've talked to guys in this position, it eats at them when they sign a type of deal where, yeah, I lead the market, but 2 years later, I'm kind of blown out of the market, right? The T.J. Watt situation. Right, he's sitting there going, wait, am I the one getting 19 sacks a year, or is it Nick Bosa? But he's making $7 million more than me now just because he came up next. And I think that's where Justin Jefferson's trying to protect himself too, is that little aspect that, okay, I signed, but now, what's Jamar Chase going to do to it too? And then, of course, the other guys that come after, and he doesn't want to sit here and go, wait, I've led the NFL in receiving, the last 3 years into this new contract. But now I'm like Mahomes when we show the quarterback list, and I'm number 10 on the receiving, for what guys are getting paid. And I think that's where he's probably trying to protect himself right now in the prime of his career.
There's no way you're going to do that unless you get a percentage of the cap. And if no quarterback has gotten a percentage of the cap, no receiver is going to get a percentage of the cap. And I believe that a percentage of the cap should be used, but it's going to take a quarterback.
I hear you.
Quarterback in free agency who's able to pit teams.
I'm saying he wants to blow it out of the market. You know what I mean? That's his only way to protect it. So instead of like, hell yeah, okay, AJ Brown's making 32. All right, well the next guy that signs, no matter what, is going to get like 34, right? I mean, that's already a given now. That's it. Whether it's CeeDee Lamb or whatever, whoever, right? Like it's just going to incrementally go up. So I could see Justin Jefferson going, you know what? I want 40 because I don't want to be sitting here 2 years from now going, I'm the 7th highest paid receiver in football, and I'm still the best receiver in football. And I understand that thought process. I do.
Here's the way it works. When you use that draft pick on a player, especially in round one, you're scratching off the lottery ticket. And if you get a winner, you don't get the jackpot. You pay the jackpot. That's part of the reality. You get the great player needs to get paid at some point. And look, in all fairness, the best players should get their contracts after 3 years. They should have done this last year. It would have been cheaper last year if they would have done it last year. And maybe Jefferson would already be saying, man, I should have waited. Now, in my mind, it's a very simple proposition. You're either going to pay for the privilege of having a superstar player on your team, or you're going to move him to some other team. And it would be stupid to do it now. If you were going to do it, you do it before the draft. There's nothing you get from it now. Even if having him on the team this year is going to be uncertain and distracting because they don't work out a deal, because that's one very real possibility, Chris. They just don't work out a deal. And, we got the franchise tag next year, and maybe they would trade him from the franchise tag application. It's just a mess. If you want him, avoid all this crap and just do it, because that's the thing. If at some point you say, we'll just kick it through this season and sign him after the year, he's going to want more after the year than he wants now. Just do it now. Do it now. There's plenty of money out there. They are swimming in cash. If they want this guy, if they value this guy, and think about it, compare him to some of the other great receivers they've had. The ones they've traded this century.
Yeah.
Randy Moss.
Right.
Randy Moss, great player, at times, major pain in the ass. Percy Harvin, great player at times, pretty consistently, pain in the ass. Stephon Diggs, great player, and at times, pain in the ass. When has Justin Jefferson ever been a pain in the ass for the Vikings?
No,
When's he ever been anything but a model citizen?
Yeah.
When's he ever done anything that anyone could say, man, they got to be careful. They got to walk on eggshells around him. They got to watch how they handle him. A lot of receivers have that. He does not. He's never done or said anything that would make you say, oh, we better tread lightly. We better make sure we get him the ball enough times. Or, if we don't get him the ball early, that was always the word on Moss. If you don't get him the ball early, he's going to check out. And I'm not passing judgment. It's just that's what you had to deal with.
Yeah.
That's what you had to deal with. And look, I can be a pain in the ass. All I'm saying is Justin Jefferson has never been, ever, 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 even remotely. So you got a superstar player who never causes problems, never says or does anything that makes you say, oh, we better get him the ball, or, oh, we're going to have issues. Perfect, crafted out of stone. If you were going to carve the perfect receiver, it's him. So pay him.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with anything you said there. He's the model citizen. He's the guy that you draft and you want to reward in any organization for all the reasons we've talked about. Hey, it looks good on you, GM. Look at this guy I drafted. He's special, whatever. Or we know how to treat guys that, are here and part of this organization. All the things we talk about all the time. Again, I think it gets done. I do. It just, I don't get the sense it's coming down the tracks here in the next week or two. It feels like it's a summer thing, and that's where it's going. And, yeah, that's always dicey for the reasons you explained. I mean, yeah, are you going to be in shape? You're going to be tip-top, 100% ready to go for the NFL season because of that? Probably not, as we've seen in the past, right? We saw Deebo Samuel 2 years ago go through the same thing. Started the year off not quite himself. Really never found himself that year because didn't get that full off-season training camp and all of that to get himself prepared for the year, and then it affects the football team. And, you worry about that with the Vikings especially as much as they design plays around Justin Jefferson.
At one point, Quesido Fomensa suggested that they want to wait and have Justin Jefferson have his own week, that he deserves his own week, that, it can't be just part of the other news cycle. Look, just get it done. It's only going to get more expensive. Somebody in that organization with their fingers on the purse strings needs to have the realization this is only getting more expensive all the time. And if we want this guy, we got to stop the bleeding. We got to make him an offer we know he won't refuse, or we got to come up with some other way. And there's no good way out of this other than pay him and have him all in, 100% committed. Will play even if he's banged up and put himself at risk because he's got the financial security. That's everything that goes into it, and that's what they need to do. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.